The Brockville Museum acknowledges the land on which we gather, exchange ideas, and share our past, present, and future is the traditional territory of the Anishinaabe, the Haudenosaunee, and the Wendat people. Have you ever been walking through a graveyard and wondered what stories it could be hiding or which historical figures could be there? Sometimes gravestones tell a whole story, writing out the story of a life lived, and other times they're very simple. One of the more recent women who had an impact on Brockville history, and that is here in the Brockville cemeteries, is Agnes Lor. Born in North Bay on June 13, 1909, Agnes was the daughter of Chinese immigrants. And after her father died when she was 5, Agnes's mother moved the family back to China, hoping they could stretch their savings a little further. But after 2 years, they decided that the best future for the children would be to return to Canada, and they moved back to North Bay. With her mother's encouragement, Agnes went on to business college after high school, and after graduation worked as a secretary for an insurance company in North Bay. Agnes was connected to her future husband Lord Leap through the church contacts that Leap decided to use when he wanted to remarry. But unlike his first marriage in China, he wanted to find a Chinese wife here in Canada. After writing back and forth as pen pals for a few months, Agnes and Leap were married, and she moved here to Brockville. Leap was reportedly very impressed by her cleverness, and Agnes was persuaded by his Christian values. In 1930, Agnes and Leap opened up a Brockville institution that closed just recently in 2019 called the New York Cafe. The Lors worked the restaurant 7 days a week and divided the jobs between them. Agnes greeted customers, scheduled waiters and cashiers, did payroll, and balanced the books daily, staying up late if necessary to make sure everything balanced correctly. The New York Cafe had a reputation for sophistication. At the time of its opening, it was the only place between Toronto and Montreal to have white tablecloths and napkins. Their menu focused on Canadian food and seafood and would serve raw oysters, broiled lobster, and even sometimes bear steaks or frog legs. Agnes prided herself on always thinking up different ways to improve the family business. Whenever she went on a shopping trip to Montreal, she liked to go to different Chinese-run restaurants to see what they were doing and check out the competition. Even after Lord Leap passed away in 1958 and a fire devastated the cafe in later years, Agnes continued running the cafe with her son Joe's help. Agnes Lor and the Lor family were a well-known local family. Agnes and Leap raised 5 children in the apartment over in the New York Cafe, and Agnes always told her children that their father was a respected figure in town and that they needed to behave accordingly. She also told her children that if other children stared and made fun of them for being different, all they should do is stare right back. Agnes was a respected woman who was involved in various different Brockville causes. She and the New York Cafe supported many different charities over the years and spearheaded different initiatives. She supported charities and charity drives performed by the police and would provide them with an annual Christmas dinner at the restaurant. She was the head of the Women's Auxiliary for the Brockville Boy Scouts troop, and Agnes was the co-founder of the Brockville Multicultural Festival. And this was because she wanted to help the Chinese community in Brockville celebrate and carry on their traditions. She also wanted to promote Chinese and other cultures who were present in Brockville and who had a stake in the community. Agnes supported many different charities initiatives, and in 1981 she became the co-founder with Dorothy Cunningham of the Brockville Women's Network, which was formed to encourage both the personal and career growth of women by creating a forum for the exchange of ideas, questions, solutions, and information for the interest of all women. This organization started small with just a small group of female entrepreneurs who had businesses on King Street getting together for breakfast at the New York Cafe. But by 1984, the gatherings were so large that they had to meet for dinners and called themselves the Thursday Network, and continued for many, many years. In 1984, the Brockville Chamber of Commerce named Agnes Lor, who was admired for her quiet strength and personality, the Citizen of the Year for her work in the community, including helping those in need and in establishing the Women's Network. Despite moving to Scarborough after selling the cafe in 1985, Agnes was still a well-known figure here in Brockville when she passed away in 2001. Thank you for watching and joining us for stories from the stones, and join us next time.